Hello everyone and welcome back to Satisfactory, where today it's time for some upgrades. Welcome back. So last episode we got AI limiters and computers, air quotes for the computers, but it is functional. So we did get AI limiters and computers. Now to get computers in a better state than what they are, we are going to need to do a couple of upgrades, which is kind of what I'm planning on doing this episode. First of which being the oil processing area, where you're currently using like 3/4 of our rubber production just to make computers. We're going to need some more rubber than that, probably, so we probably just end up using every single oil well over there, just redoing the entire setup and doing it better this time, which I think is probably going to be what we end up doing today. Now, I was doing a little bit of digging around here with some alternate recipes, and I did discover, I think it was under plastic, maybe it was not, I don't know, hold on. It was under rubber. There is a recycled rubber recipe. 6 plastic and 6 fuel into 12 rubber, which I thought, so if I just make a bunch of plastic and then have a little bit of extra fuel, which I have diluted fuel and residual, or like the alternate for heavy oil residue increase, you can get a lot of rubber out of that. And I bet this one here is the same thing, but for plastic. And of course, since last episode, I discovered how incredibly useful that one Satisfactory Tools website was. I may or may not have just plugged in the values for rubber and plastic and saw that, yes, there is an optimal way that you can split your rubber and plastic to make rubber and plastic, and I think we're going to go ahead and do it. More on that later, though, because we do not have the plastic recipe, which is right here. We obviously need that in order to make rubber, which seems a little backwards, but to get that, we're going to need some more hard drives, and I have burned through all of the hard drives I got on that exploration expedition I did a couple episodes ago, so I think what we're going to start off with today is a little bit more exploring. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to go place some radar towers kind of dotted around the map, probably one ending up right here, maybe I'll put one over here, and then maybe I can put one over here, and that will allow a scan of a pretty decent radius. It'll also uncover some of this terrain that I haven't discovered yet, and then I can see how many of the hard drives, summer sloops, Mercer spheres, blah blah blah, that I have missed while out on the expeditions. So then we can use those to hopefully scan for the plastic recipe. And then, of course, build the huge factory. And also, I'm thinking it might be time to just build over the lake instead of over the edge of the map because, you know, I kind of like how I did the AI limiter factory, that it was kind of on the map and over the lake. So I think I might just build over this lake to build this massive factory. And yes, it's going to be massive, because I'm going to overclock every single oil well that we have over here to the highest that it goes. Now, of course, exploration, I don't really want to bore you because just recently we did an entire episode of just exploring around the map. So I think what I'm going to do this time, I'm just going to go do the exploring. I'm going to pick up all the stuff and you'll see a highlights reel. So you know what? Run the highlights. I'm going to try out explosive rebar. I don't really want to make more rifle ammo, and if this is good, then I'll probably end up using this.
Explosive rebar unlocked. Rebar ammo that explodes on impact. Suitable for removal of unwanted obstacles, creatures, or limbs.
Bro, you better pipe down. You're about to be a test subject. Well, this thing is, it's effective. Kind of. Hey, there's a summer sloop over there. I should probably grab that.
Give me the sloop.
Remember this setup? Because I sure do. Yep, we got another hard drive over here. And also, we've been here before. Yoink! Anyways, there's a hard drive up here. We're kind of in the red biome, which I did not really expect to be going this way, but I am anyways. 300 megawatts. I need to do the generator setup again. I did not intend to explore the red biome yet, but I keep finding hard drives on my little scanner. We got another one over here. If it's easy, I'm grabbing it. It's easy, I'm grabbing it. Oh my god, there's another one. Yoink! Alright, I'll deal with that later. Let me get out of here before the radiation hogs kill me. Ugh. Holy pure Sam, dude. Also, purple power slug, don't mind if I do. But there's like the cool spindly pillar that I found a little while ago. It's got some Sam on it. Yo, this is pretty exciting. Also, 6 hard drives in the area. I don't even know where they could be. Okay, well, that's not really true. I know there's one right here. I have a feeling a lot of them are going to be here, but there might be some in this little area, so I'm going to have to go look around there again. Wow, look at all that. That's crazy. Another summer sloop in the tree? No way. What, bro's got teeth in his teeth? Oh! Why do you have sparkles in your teeth? Oh, there it is. Oh, and it's just an open. Oh, good. All right, well, we're kind of in a new-ish area. I'm trying not to go further than I've explored before, but I feel like we've been over here at least a little bit. We also got some goofy trees. They kind of look like pine trees, and they got little pine cones on them, but I don't really know. They're kind of weird. But we also got the purpley trees, but not to be confused with the red trees up there, which are the same color, but I don't know why I call them differently. Anyways, there's some coal around here. I think there's 3 veins. Is that a 4th one over there? No, that's something else. But also we got another hard drive down here, so I'm gonna go grab it. And this one's just an open door as well. Okay, sweet.
Wait, oh. Too late. Take the damaged hard drive to the MAM for analysis.
Huh? What could have happened? Edge of the map, are we? Also, already have this. Progress update. We're kind of over here now. I have not really been this far out, and I think if I'm going to explore a new biome, I'm just going to do the swamp or the whatever this is, because I bet you there's a bunch in there. So I'll probably just clean this out, because I feel like this is the edge of the map anyway. So if I just go here and then zoop, then that'll be good. And maybe I can even put a radar tower in the middle there. Heat sinks. Oh, I only have 5 heat sinks. Okay, hold on. I did recently get the research for them, so I can just make some. And it needs 25, so I might be here a while. There we go. Yo, new biome just dropped. Is that a hard drive? Oh, are you kidding me, dude? I'm trying to avoid going to new biomes because I'm going to try to just dedicate another exploration episode to go out and look across the new biomes I haven't been to yet. But, I keep finding hard drives. Keep going over there. Pretty flat. Bunch of deserts. We got a whatever that thing is. Well, I'm just here for the hard drive, so I can just open it. Oh my god, it's so dark. Is there an eclipse? Why is it so dark? And there's a hard drive like somewhere over here. If you can see it, I can't. It's super dark. There you are, down here. Good grief. 85. Ugh. All right. Yoink. Hello. Hey, look, another hard drive. Silica? All right. Yeah, and we're in the swamp now, if you couldn't tell. I missed a sloop. What? Oh, I did not. Oh. Goodbye. You think that was enough? I can't believe that worked. I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't know how I missed this one. It's literally right here. All right, well, hopefully, yeah, watch this one take, like, something super advanced. Oh, quick wire. I can do that. Oh, I'm gonna open this up and there's gonna be a spider in here. Watch. That's crazy. How did I know? Oh man, I really do love fighting an entire army just to get to my hard drive. Oh, great. There's another one. Cooling systems. I don't even have those. Greetings from the heart of the swamp. I'm putting down a radar tower. Let's see what we can do. Hopefully we get something good out of this. All right, what are we looking at? Okay. Ooh, hello. Impure, normal, pure. Ooh, okay. We got a nice amount of bauxite. We got quartz. We got a bunch of caterium. Normal, pure. Wow, that's actually pretty good. Got some geysers. A little bit of sulfur. I did see that earlier, so that's nice to know. Sweet. All right, now how many hard drives? That is the question. 6! Holy! Okay, now I have gone this way, so there shouldn't be any out there. Jeez. Okay, so there's 6, but at least we know 1 is here. So there's actually 5 that I can find. 113 slugs is insane, by the way. And also, I'm pretty sure there's a drive this way. Yes. I'm gonna have a fun time in a little bit, just wandering around the swamp, trying not to get eaten by the wildlife. See what I mean? Ooh. Why is it red? Why is it red down here? Turbo motors. Ooh, do I have enough of those? 19 and I need 25. Oof. Oops. Yeah, I may have went a little overkill on the ammo there. I got like 2,000, and I got some extra smokeless powder too, so we're pulling up to the swamp strapped this time. There's more than one, there's more than one, there's more than one, there's more than one. Oh my god! All that fighting for 200 megawatts. Oops. Almost did that wrong. Give me, thank you. Also, I found some cooling systems. I don't even know where those come from. We have 32 though. I think that's actually enough to go get the one over there. Ooh, I have that. Superposition oscillator? What even is that? Okay, well we definitely don't have that. Okay, well bruh. Alright, last one of the day. We did manage to get enough cooling systems, which actually don't look that expensive. I think that's nitrogen gas down there. But we got enough from just random hard drives and crashed ships, so this will be the last one for the day. Okay, let's see. We currently have 3 minutes, 37 seconds. We started with 5. this is how long it goes. We'll take a look at these in a little bit, but I'm going to scan this one and the rest of these 6, and then we can take a big look at all of the alternate recipes we now have available to us. Hopefully, it will end up helping us with oil because that was the entire reason we did this. Good news, everyone. All of the hard drives have been scanned. Yes, I did just sit here for an hour and a half scanning all of these. I could have used that time for something useful, but nah. Okay, anyways, let's go over all of the spoils of exploration. We got 114 hog hide and various other alien components, which are going to go straight into the super duper over here to get sunk for tickets. Speaking of tickets, we are at a grand total of 62 right now, which is not bad. Of course, we do have the 100 some that I already have printed off, so we're up to like 160-ish. 107 plus 62, whatever that is, not too bad. Also, I think we got like 3 or 4 Sommer sloops. Not a whole lot of those, but that's okay. We're now up to 18 Mercer spheres, so we can probably afford another upgrade, plus 8, 10, and 8 additional power slugs. Not bad. We have plenty of overclocks to go around. I probably should just turn these into the actual overclocks instead of just like putting them in the chest, but I think that's going to be fine for now. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's go look at all of the hard drives that we scanned. We already had all the way up to the high-speed connector, so we got all of these to go through. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got. Okay, first one is a overclocked supercomputer, or OC supercomputer. So we take out computers, AI limiters, high-speed connectors, and plastic, and instead we use these radio control units, which instead takes a crystal oscillator, computers, and a little bit of aluminum, plus the cooling system, which takes, I think, rubber, heat sinks, and some nitrogen gas, I believe, and that makes our computer. I think we're actually saving resources here, but we're subbing in crystal oscillators for the high-speed connectors and AI limiters, which I'm fairly certain crystal oscillators are actually built using AI limiters and high-speed connectors, so maybe we're not actually saving much there. But also, we do have an alternate for a heatsink, which uses rubber instead of copper. Very interesting. I'm going to leave these 2 here because I haven't really looked into making these just yet, so I'm not sure which one we're going to end up needing. Down here, we've got leached copper and alternate deuterium circuit boards. Probably never going to end up using this one, and I've already got a pretty good copper recipe, which I think is actually better. It is, yeah. This is just a worse copper refinement because it takes sulfur and you get less copper per copper. So why would I ever take that? I don't know. So I think I'm going to rescan this. And since we have all of these already here, rescanning will just show up with some actual new things, which is pretty good. So let's go ahead. Rescan this one. Electrode aluminum scrap, and oh my god, blended diluted fuel. I don't have to use the packager. I'm going to take this 100%, but I'm going to leave it there just in case we need to re-roll anything else. Next up, fine black powder. Going to ignore that one. That one's not that great. Alternate radio connection units, which takes high-speed connectors, heatsink, and quartz instead of crystal oscillators and computers. I will probably end up taking this one because that seems pretty good, so we'll leave that there. These 2 are kind of mid. Coated iron canister, never going to use it. Bolted frame, I feel like I have another way to make frames already. No, wait, actually, this is just more expensive on the iron front if I use pure iron recipes for these. So probably just going to re-roll this one as well. Alternate for cooling device. Cooling device usually takes that recipe, but we sub in a motor to get rid of the rubber cost. Not a huge fan of that, but I'll leave it there, and we're obviously not going to be taking that circuit board. Steel cast plate, which is kind of but also molded beam, 24-9 instead of 4-1. So this is just a little bit better. No, this is actually a lot better. Hold on. So it is 2.66 steel ingots to a beam instead of 4 to a beam, which is actually pretty good. So I'll leave this here for now. I might end up just taking that. We got another copper duplication recipe, which is less good than the other ones, plus the alternate steel screws, which I don't really need, so we're going to go ahead and rescan this one. Oh, dear. Is this just better? There's another one of these? Okay, well, let's see here. 5-4? What am I currently doing? I don't know if this is any better. Okay, so this actually isn't the greatest, so I'll probably go with this deuterium, which is better. It's 3-2, so this is actually better than the water deuterium recipe, so I'll probably end up taking this, but again, let's just leave it here until we actually need to take it. Biocoal and steel frame. Steel frame might actually be nice, but biocoal kind of sucks. So I think we're just going to re-roll this. Plastic smart plating and inventory slots. That's kind of rough, but at least this one won't show up anymore. That's good. Another alternate for radio control systems, which take crystal oscillators and circuit boards. So, yeesh. But also classic battery. Haven't really looked into making batteries yet, but if we take a look at the recipe down here, that is nitrogen or nitric acid and sulfuric acid with a aluminum casing makes a battery, or we just put in normal sulfur some plastics, some copper, and some aluminum plates and just get batteries, I feel like that's just way easier to manage. So we might end up taking that one. Encased industrial pipes. This one looks really good here. So it's 3 steel beams, which is 12 steel ingots by default, plus some concrete will get us a steel beam. Or we have these pipes here, which is actually 9. Or we can just use pure iron. So we have 9 steel versus 12 steel, and this uses less concrete. So this we're definitely going to be taking, but again, let's leave it for now. Flexible framework. I don't think we need these anymore. And iron wire, not particularly great. So let's rescan this one. Bolted frame and steeled frame. Okay, the steeled frame came back, so I'll probably end up taking that. Molded steel pipes, which is 1-to-1. So that previous encased industrial pipe is actually 1 steel ingot. So 6-to-1, which is way better. So we're definitely taking this. Too bad we won't take the alclad casing, because I do kind of want to take that at some point, but that's fine for now. Streamed copper sheets or pure aluminum? This is the hardest choice ever, dude. Because usually this takes silica. Oh, no. Hold on, is this actually better? I think this is worse. Wait, hold on. Maybe this isn't a hard choice. So it's 6-to-3 versus 6-to-4. This is actually worse. Okay, never mind. So I'm definitely taking this because this is going to save so much copper. Matter of fact, we could head over to circuit board land and just upgrade it with this, which I was probably going to actually do at some point anyway. So that'll be really nice. Unfortunately, I don't think we have water nearby, so we may have to relocate the factory, but that's okay. I was going to do that anyways. Okay, steeled rotor versus quick wire stator. This might actually be nice. Takes caterium and a tiny little bit more steel to make stators twice as fast, I think. Well, maybe not twice as fast, but at least twice as many. Steeled rotor, that's all right. We're just going to leave those two. And there it is. Alternate recycled plastic. Sweet. Okay. That is the one that I was looking for, so we can get our oil processing upgraded to stupid speeds. So I'm definitely going to be taking this one. Rubber concrete. Oh, wow. That's actually a pretty good concrete recipe. Or 6 inventory slots. Are there 2 of those? There are. Okay. Interesting. So may actually end up taking that. And then last but not least, coated iron plates, which actually, if we're going to have a stupid amount of plastic and rubber, this would be pretty good. You know? Okay, well, sweet. I'm going to go ahead and just take a couple of these. Alternate diluted fuel. I think we actually need this. And, well, no, I don't even care if we need this. It's just going to be easier because packagers suck. So, taking that. Encased industrial beam. I'm going to take that because well, actually, you know what? I'll take that when we need it. I'm going to try to get into the habit of taking them when I need them. Because if the longer we leave them in here, the more chances we have to get other alternate recipes and not see the same things over and over again. So that's kind of nice. So I'll leave that for now. I'm going to take molded steel pipes, but we'll leave it for now. I'm taking this just right now because that's not the greatest anyways, and this is going to significantly increase the amount of factory we can use. That doesn't even make sense. It's going to use less copper. Okay, whatever. You know what I meant. And then recycled plastic. We are also going to take that straight up so we can upgrade the oil processing. Okay, there we have it. That is going to be it for hard drives today. Now, let's go do some work on some upgrades, as was the goal of the episode anyways. Okay, alright, now the question is, do I want to upgrade circuit boards first, or do I want to upgrade oil? Because oil is going to be a huge undertaking, because it's going to be very, very large. There is going to be some kind of optimization, which how much fuel goes into making the recycled stuff versus how much goes into making the base resource, which is why Satisfactory Tools has come to the rescue again. Let's do some math. I'm not the one who has to do it this time. It's the program. Alright, here we are on Satisfactory Tools again, and the math is looking pretty good. If we input a grand total of 600 crude oil, which we actually have 1,950 available, but I might want to use some of that for something else, to be fair. I'm not really sure if we're going to need anything else with crude oil, but I might just keep a little bit of extras just so we don't have to deal with weird numbers like that. Not really sure what we'll end up doing there, but if we take a look at a 600 per minute, 600 a minute of crude oil gets turned into alternate heavy oil residue. All of that goes into the blender to make diluted fuel. Plus we have some additional polymer resin, which goes into residual rubber, and all of the diluted fuel goes into the recycled rubber recipe with some plastic that is recovered from the recycled plastic recipe, which goes into the rubber because that makes plastic, which goes back into recycled rubber and ends up making 1,800 plastic a minute. I actually don't really know how this works, so to speak, but this is what the calculator said, so we're going to give this a try. But it's going to use 1,600 water plus 400 water, so that's 2,000 water per minute. So that's like 4 pipes worth of water, but we'll end up with 1,800 plastic a minute, and that's at 600. So if we divide that 1950 by 2, that's 975. So we would actually end up with 2,925 plastic a minute. And guess what? It's the same for rubber. It's pretty much the exact same, except I think this takes more water, 3,200, but we do end up with the exact same amount of rubber. There's just going to be more machines and a little bit more recycling that goes back into it. Figuring out the logistics for this is going to be a right pain because splitting this up into all of the different categories is going to be pretty difficult. But I think this is what we're going to go with. Now, the real question is, how much oil do I want to dedicate to this? Do I want to just do the 600 and leave a couple of oil wells available for various other things? Because 1,800 a minute of plastic and rubber is still quite a lot. You know what? I think we're just going to go with that. Let's do 600 of each, because I know we've got 2 pure oil wells, and that'll leave us with a normal and an impure left to do whatever else we need. Say some kind of weapons factory, maybe some fuel for some other thing, who knows. I think drones actually take fuel, so maybe we'll end up using it for drones. So it is decided we're going to dedicate 600 crude oil to make 1,800 plastic and 600 crude oil for 1,800 rubber. Oh boy. You think this is a big enough platform? I'm honestly starting to doubt it, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, let me get out of picture mode here, but instead of doing some very annoying calculations, why don't we just split this into quote-unquote 4 separate factories and then just merge all of the outputs together? Let me show you what I mean. So you've obviously seen the Satisfactory tools graph for the full thing, but here is the graph for just a fourth of it. This will take 150 crude oil per minute and will get us 450 plastic. Obviously multiply that by 4, you will get the 1,800 we're going to make. But if you take a look here, 500 water, 400 fuel, 300-ish plastic rubber, 450 plastic output, that is a single belt and a single pipe for everything. I think this is going to be way better to do because it makes optimizing things way easier. So let's go ahead and do this. Of course, we're going to have to start out with 5 refineries, 4 blenders, 2.5 refineries for the recycling of the polymer resin, and then we will deal with this in the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this half set up, and hopefully I can do this all in a nice line, but We'll see how that turns out. Well, I may have gotten a little carried away and just built the whole thing. I tend to do this a lot, I've noticed. Although I will say it's a lot easier to just build it in one fell swoop than it is to explain every step. So we're going to explain every step after the fact. First things first, oil is coming in from the pure oil well over there through this snaky pipe. Don't ask questions about that. Also, probably going to swap out that pure oil well to come up to Rubberland, and we're going to use the pure over there to feed the power setup. That's going to be an interesting switchover, so we'll deal with that later. But first steps first, oil comes into here and goes into these ones to get turned into heavy oil residue and polymer resin. Polymer resin will ship over to the next set of 3 over here, which makes some residual rubber, which is the part where I messed this up because I realized I could have spaced this out a little bit and sent the belt this way, which made a lot more sense, but instead I had to run it all the way around into the merger over here. Good grief. Alright, well, anyways, next step. Heavy oil residue obviously goes into the blenders, gets turned into the normal fuel, which gets split into the first recycled rubber to get sent into the recycled plastic, which of course merges together. We get this rubber and the polymer chips, which also gets turned into rubber, merged in, and sent over here. Okay, so that is pretty much the system working in full glory. Now, of course, we are going to have to do this 7 more times. 3 of which are going to be carbon copies of this one, and the other 4 are going to be for the rubber setup, which I think needs a little bit more of those and a little bit less of these. That's just how kind of the ratios worked, right? So the real question is, will I have enough space to copy this boom, boom, and boom more times, and then, of course, go up a floor to get the rubber setup? Now, of course, I'm going to have to put another pump over here to pump the oil up to get to rubber, but I think that's going to be perfectly fine. I already had to put one over there to make sure that it got over here. Okay, well, why don't we go ahead and build the next 3 of these? Oh, wait, one last thing that I forgot to mention. I did put a little bulk storage system over here just so we can store a bunch of plastic, because we're going to be making a lot, so we may as well have extra reserves available. Now, what I realistically should do is, once this one gets overflowed, we run it into a sink, because then we can just get a bunch of extra tickets out of this, because this is going to be running quickly. I guess the real question is, how much power does this take? If I disconnect this line right here, this whole thing should shut off. Yep, and now we can check the total power of just this little network, and it is around 1 gigawatt. Okay, so if we want to dedicate 8 gigawatts to oil production, we absolutely can do that. Unfortunately, that would be a consistent sink of 8,000 power, but we're making 44 at the moment. Plus, you know, we could upgrade the rocket fuel. No, let's not do that. Let's not even think about that just yet. Let's just get this going. We are going to have to copy this 3 more times. So why don't we go ahead and just do a little bit of this? Okay, yeah, there's 4 of them now. And as you can see, let's just go into camera mode here. Yeah, this is a lot. 4 individual plastic factories, all producing 450 a minute each, which means we will get a grand total of 1,800 plastic per minute. That is a lot. It's going to be very useful in the future probably, because anything that uses plastic or rubber as a replacement for other resources, we have access to and can use without even thinking about it. Now, of course, I say plastic and rubber, and as you can see right here, this is just the plastic half. So now we need to go up a floor and do the whole thing again. Oh man, I did not think this through. This is going to take forever. But it's going to be all worth it in the end. Plastic and rubber are going to be just the thing to use now. And we're going to use the SkyTrain to actually transport it around the map, which is also going to be great because I did build those blueprints and still have yet to use them. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, time to go up a floor, and maybe I'll add some little like pillars to make it look like it could actually stand up or something. And maybe I'll add some pillars going into the water as well. I'm not really sure yet, but let's go up a floor. And let's build the rubber half. You know, it's times like these you ask yourself, is what you're doing really worth it? And the answer is yes. I've got the second platform in, I've got the start of the rubber area, and now it's time to do some oil switching. Because we're just going to kind of cut off the rubber factory, which is probably going to turn off the computer factory, but as you can see right here, it is all backed up, so it's not going to be a problem. Probably. I guess we will find out, to be honest. But this pure oil well right here, 240 a minute, is going to be the one that goes into the power setup now. So I can actually do a little bit of cleanup over here. I'll probably clean this up after I get the actual rubber factory going, but I should be able to kind of run it down like over to here, and then we should just be able to do a hot swap to this. Let's actually just color that. So this little interface right here, we can get the hot swap going. We'll bring the other pipe down here and then just break place. Hopefully we won't have any like issues with it. Well, to be fair, a little bit of these aren't working anyways because we don't have enough sulfur yet, because I'm spending all my time upgrading my factories instead of progressing with the game. But once we get this, then we can actually get the rubber going, which then we can of course have rubber and plastic available, so we can make all the new stuff at lightning speeds, and then we can actually progress in the game. Let's go and run this pipeline. Now the issue with this is I'm going to have to run it through half of these machines, and to be fair, since this is all going to get ripped out and replaced anyways, why wait? Let's just rip it out now. Alright, pump has been placed. Oil well is overclocked. This thing should be producing oil at very high speeds, aka 600 per minute. And all we have to do now is slide over this pipe and simply connect this together. Alright, here we go. Please do not shut down the entire base when I'm doing this. There we have it. We should be good to go. This is completely filled with oil. This does not look like it has any problems. We are now officially switched over. Sweet. Okay, so that is good. Now, of course, this is all going to be shut down, so if we ever end up using any rubber or plastic, this is eventually going to get emptied, which is fine because I think I'm going to be retiring this train after this episode anyways, because currently this only brings rubber and plastic back to the base, and now that I have dimensional depots at high speeds and this, I don't think that's going to be too necessary. Also, as you can see, that side's already full. Now that this is done, we can run the other oil pipe over here, which is going to be fun because we're going to have to pump it up like 3 times, probably. Hopefully I did the pump math right, aka just wing it and place 2 of them, and it will actually work. So I guess we'll find out. Also, this pipe can be completely removed, and I'm going to run it on top of the other pipe. And that's a little crooked, but I'm never going to be over here, so I don't really care. Alright, that should be connected. Now, the real question is, do we actually have the head lift for this? We have the head lift for this? Really? That's crazy. Okay, you know what? I'm pleasantly surprised by that. No way. We gotta be like super close, right? And yes, I am well aware that's crooked, and no, I'm not fixing it. Head lift is 51.3, so we do not really have the head lift for that. Okay, I'm gonna go place another pump just to be extra safe. Alright, there we go. Got an extra pump. Now we should have plenty of head lift to get up here and to continue or build the rubber side. Let me look at the little nitrogen node over there, and then rubber is complete. 1,800 rubber per minute, 1,800 plastic per minute. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but we now never have to worry about these products ever again. Okay, sweet. Now, as you probably could have figured out, the plastic is filled up on all 4 of them and has officially shut off, and the rubber is getting pretty close as well. Actually, the buffer is filling up this one. No, this one on the first one, and then the 4th one I got in like maybe 5 minutes ago, so we probably have a couple pieces in there, but not a whole lot just yet. So I think the last thing that we are going to do this episode is do a little bit of decoration on this, because right now it is just 2 floating platforms over a lake. That's not great. So we're going to have to upgrade that. Also, I am going to retire the train right here. We no longer need this at the base. If I do need rubber and plastic, I will of course use a SkyTrain as discussed previously. And you know what? Why don't we just remove the train right now? Now, unfortunately, the stations are completely full of materials, so I don't know what's actually going to happen when I deconstruct them. Are they going to appear in an item cache here, or are they going to continue to add to like the huge item cache like over here? I don't really know, but I guess we'll find out. All right, here we go. Okay, I can feel a lag spike when that happens, which is not great. And there we go. Train is now decommissioned. Now, I am probably going to just leave these here, because if I do ever end up needing plastic and rubber over here, I could probably just grab it from these. And yes, the freight cars do have a bunch of rubber and plastic, and guess what? My inventory is full of rubber. Oof, okay. You know what? Let's just go sink it. I literally don't even have enough space in the box to sink this all. That's kind of crazy. Wow, okay, well, looks like we also have 88 additional tickets, which is quite nice. All right, well, last things last, let's get this decorated. I think it's probably going to be best to put a couple of pillars on the corners and then maybe some in the middle. And then after that, I don't really know. Maybe some like barriers in between or something. I'm not really sure. Also, we did get a nice view when we were flying in. That was pretty cool. You know what? Big metal pillar. And yes, I am going to build it clipping into the foundation just so it actually looks like it's holding this up. All right. And I think that is going to do it for the decorations. It's just some simple little metal pillars that are on the middles and sides just so it looks like it's held up by something. And instead, it's of just floating. Much, much better. Okay, well, I think that is going to probably be it for this episode. Now, I know we didn't do a whole lot, but we did a lot of extra exploring today and got a whole bunch of extra alternate recipes, a power slug, and we built the largest oil and rubber factory known to man, at least in this world. I guarantee you other people have done a lot larger of setups for this. I mean, even I could have done that and used every single piece of oil over here, but you know what? I think 1,800 is going to be just enough for me. I don't think I'm even going to ever use all of it, so if we ever need some tickets, maybe we can turn it into something, or we can just send it into some sinks to get a whole bunch of points. Next time, I think we are going to, well, I'm actually not sure what we're going to do. You know what? You know what I think we should do? We should start some space elevator components and some research. Let's actually get some progression going, you know. The assembly directory system takes adaptive control units, which takes computers and advanced wiring kits, and supercomputers, which obviously has a couple of alternate recipes, but it takes computers, AI limiters, high-speed connectors, and plastic, which may actually be a pretty decent recipe, all things considered, especially because we now have AI limiters in bulk, plastic in bulk, and computers quote-unquote in bulk. Now, the computer factory will be needing an upgrade because the spaghetti mess that I built over there for fun isn't really going to hold up very well, so we may want to look into better ways to do that, but I think that's what we're going to do next episode. Get one piece of that automated. Goodbye.